Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Lewis.
Welcome to the Rangers Journey.
Good evening and welcome to your Rangers Journal post-match episode. After a convincing 4-1 win over Aberdeen, I've got Jock with me this evening to discuss this briefly. Obviously, we'll do a full breakdown through the week, but we'll get your initial reaction right now. Jock, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, Dave. There's nothing like a Rangers victory at the weekend that just brightens up the rest of the weekend for you, doesn't it? It just makes the Saturday evening and the Sunday just go that wee bit easier.
Aye, it does that, mate. And I think what'll be pleasing to a lot of fans is it was a pretty comfortable, convincing victory, really. It wasn't, last weekend, we got the points, but it was maybe a wee bit scrappy, a bit of dubiety over the sort of performance levels. But I think today, from my eye, I don't think Aberdeen offered much of anything, and we just put them to the sword, which really is what you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Goals from Chikwani, Moore, Ruskin, and Tavernier. I guess my first question, Jock, what was your kind of pick of the bunch? Because I think for me it was that Tav free kick. What did you prefer?
I don't know, because the goals were quality today for a change. I thought Mikey Moore's goal was fantastic, because Raskin wins the ball back, plays the ball forward, and Nadiri's touch to drag it round the defender and then start the attack, I thought was brilliant. And he showed a couple of great touches today. One for the Miovski goal that obviously got chopped off. But Mikey Moore's finish for that as well, where he cuts onside and just quickly just bends it in the far corner. Chikwani's goal was great as well, because great composure outside the box, just put it in the back of the net. Great work by Rollins. I could pick all the goals. I can't really fault any of the goals. Maybe Raskin's one was maybe a wee bit scruffy, but the other three I thought were quality.
I have to admit, I did like Moore's. I thought it was a really composed finish for someone of his age. I think, if I'm being honest, that probably would have been my pick, is the Moore finish, just for the sheer technique of it, right up until Tav rattled him one off the underside of the crossbar. But there we are, that's how it goes. So I want to touch on some performances a wee bit. I guess we'll start with everyone's favourite figure of hate. What did you make of James Tavernier today? Because we touched on him in the pre-match and how he offered more kind of going forward than what Sterling does. Were you happy enough with his contribution through the whole game?
Yeah, 100%. He's always there. He's always present. He's always involved in the positive side of things going forward. His delivery, he's always, his assists and stats over the years are ridiculous, and he always contributing. And he did that again today. And then obviously his set pieces speaks for itself. Our cracking free kick, that there's not many in that squad can do those things, and we are going to miss that whenever he does finally go. But I thought today, he was, he was okay. He was solid. I thought the whole back line, was pretty solid. As you say, Aberdeen didn't really offer too much. I think if there's anything, it was obviously because we gave them opportunities. That was our own fault. It was nothing to do with their great play, or they didn't really cut us open. It was a mistake on our behalf. But overall, I thought Tav was solid, and I can't fault his performance today at all.
I think another one that's maybe coming for some criticism recently is Nico Raskin.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been moments where I wouldn't say he's been really, really poor, but he certainly hasn't performed at the levels we've kind of come to expect from him. I thought he was really good today. I thought he got about the pitch. I thought he contributed an awful lot to that game, where other times he's felt maybe like he's holding win himself a wee bit. Were you quite happy with him? Did you think he needed to do more?
No, I think he's like you say, he pinched the ball in the middle of the park and set up the counter attack that got Mikey Moore his goal, and that's part of his game, isn't it? Is winning the ball back, being that dogged number 6 that goes and does those things, does the dirty side of things. But Yeah, over the past, I would say maybe 2 weeks previous, the last month or so, I thought, "Man, maybe we need to look at dropping him because he's just not offering too much," or, there's no end product from him. I know Doug slated me in a pod a couple of weeks ago saying that he was 90% plus percentage in terms of like positive passing, pass completion and stuff like that. But I was like, there's no end product from it. Yes, that's all waiting, but there's no assists. There's nothing that comes from it. But then if you look at last week, it's his ball that sets up the goal for Romans. He's contributed sort of, you could say, a secondary assist today with obviously winning the ball back for Mikey Moore's goal, and then he's always got himself a goal as well. He's always a threat. He's great inside the box for such a short fella. He does seem to get on the end of things. So I think we're starting to see maybe the turn, which is obviously good for us because he's coming up into the World Cup international stage is coming up shortly. So a Nico Raskin going into international games flying can only be good for us, especially when he comes back and we've got we've got to continue this title running.
I think this is as close as an apology as you're getting from Doug, by the way, Jock. But Doug does agree. Raskin much improved today. I don't want this to be negative, right? But our two strikers, again, didn't score. I thought it. Well, I'm hesitating to say much about Chermiti because I didn't think he had a great game. I thought he was really kind of on the periphery of it.
Yeah.
I think Nadiri had a really good game. A lot of running again, a lot of freeing up space. Obviously, that we assist for Miovski's goal. And then Miovski comes on. And as Graham's said here, probably did more in 10 minutes than Chermiti did the whole game. Do you think there's an argument that Miovski maybe deserves a wee bit more minutes than what he's seen so far?
I advocated for this last week. I said I think we need to take Chermiti out just for a bit and see how Miovski and him get on, because I think Miovski's technically the better finisher. I think he's got different types of finishes in him than Chermiti does. Chermiti obviously has the extravagant things, but Miovski's did scored an overhead kick this season as well in the European game. Miovski has different finishes in his locker. We've seen that against Kilmarnock away as well. Whenever we're right up against it and we're struggling, but he came up with two sort of inventive finishes just inside and outside the box that I don't think any of our strikers have in their locker. So we need goals to win games. Miovski scores goals in this league. We know that. He's scored again today. Great goal. It's a shame that obviously there was a silly handball in the build-up, but he's a fox in the box. And I think to get a title over the line, you need to score goals. And we can't be relying on there has to be goals from open play. We can't be relying on set pieces or things that are going to go to the wire with VAR. I'd rather just put the ball in the back of the net as many times as we can during the game. And I think Miovski would offer more than Chermiti does in terms of maybe even opportunities. I noticed Chermiti was dropping a lot deep to get involved today, whereas Nadiri was sort of doing the running in the channels and stretching the midfield and stretching the defence, and I couldn't fault Nadiri's performance today. So for me, yes, Miovski definitely deserves a chance at least to sort of prove that he can cut it in the Rangers team at the moment.
There's a lot of people in the comments sort of echoing that sentiment that we think maybe Nadiri and Miovski are certainly worth a try. I know Aaron in our tactics group chat, he is desperate for Miovski to get a run. I think lethal finisher is the term he uses, which I'm not totally sold on just yet, but I think he did himself no harm today with that goal, which, unfortunately was ruled out, but that wasn't his doing. Just a selfish one from me then, because I really like the guy, and a lot of it is based on his record last year in one game before Russell Martin got a chance at coaching him. But Oliver Antman came on today, and I thought that was a really strong performance when he came on. And this isn't, it's nothing to do with Asgard, right? That I'm sure there'll be a totally separate discussion about that. I've already seen a few comments saying they thought Asgard played well today. But just Antman in his own right, I thought when he came on, gave us something a wee bit different. And again, it's another one for me. I'd like to see him get a wee run on the right because realistically, so far, the solutions that we've tried haven't worked.
Yeah, well, this is it. Olsen was brought in to be the solution to that right-hand side problem. Just hasn't really set the header alight, as they say. Ant-Man, every time he comes on, he seems to come on late in games, and he looks that way because I think he's coming up against a tired team. But he is dynamic. He's forward. He's pacey. He's quick in the turn. He has all the attributes to do well, I think, at this club and do well in the team. I just think we need to see more of him. And he's just not seem to be getting the opportunities, or if he does, it's small snippets like that, and he comes on and he does impress. It's like, just need more from him, because like you say, he's under Russell Martin, that he looked great for the one game, didn't he?
Aye. Came in, hadn't had a coaching session, looked great, and then Russell Martin coached him, and the rest is history. What did you make Asgard then, mate? I think it's the elephant in the room. The comments, I've seen everything from he's pish, he's useless, to best game in a Rangers shirt. What did you make of him today?
You've seen the best, and I think you've seen the worst of Asgard today. He takes up great positions. He's physical. He's strong. He can drive for the ball, which you need to against teams like this. Whenever you win the ball in the middle of the park, he's quick to do that, turn in the drive. There's one point he was coming back the way. I think it was I think it was just after we scored the goal. He was coming back the way, just inside his own half, and he turned his marker, and he just went. And he sprinted, he carried us 30, 40 yards up the pitch. Fantastic. What does he do next? Simple side ball. He plays it nearly at the referee, and it goes to nobody. And it just totally kills the move. And I was like, that just sums up Asgard at the moment when he's in the team. He does the thing he needs to do to create the space right, but then the second bit of play, he either makes the wrong decision or it breaks down. And I think that's where we're missing that, just that wee bit of quality and that wee bit of composure to be like, right, I'm going to play a killer pass, or I'm going to play the perfect pass, the simple pass, right? And he just doesn't seem to be able to do that. But he has ability. He had a cracking shot that was blocked, that was, I think it was flying at the net, that half volley that they did look at for, I think, handball, but we're never going to get anything like that. So yeah, I think it was a case of you've seen the best and you've seen the worst of him in a game. It's frustrating, should we say?
I'd agree with that, and I think a lot of his good qualities is kind of winning the ball and holding the ball so much as trying to build play in that. I just wonder if really using him on the wings the kind of best use of him. Yeah. I wonder if he should be more central for me. I think obviously know your playmaker, because as you said, he's pretty good at picking the wrong pass, but I just think he'd offer a bit more in there potentially than on the wing myself, but we'll see. Jock, who was your man of the match that game? Because I think there's a few you could choose from, and I'm interested kind of who you think.
Oh, it was Mikey Moore. I just thought he was brilliant. He was I just love watching the guy play football. He's just you can just see the ascendancy he's on. He's just climbing higher and higher, and he just really, really sort of looked to be flying. And the way he carries the ball, the way he was getting involved, he doesn't shy away from anything. He wants the ball. He wants to be able to go on these dribbling, mazy runs, and he takes shots on. There was the one that he just put by the post where he just didn't get enough whip on it after he'd scored. You could just see the confidence growing in this kid. That's what it is. He's 18. He's an 18-year-old kid, but he's on a different level, I think, from the players around him. And that I think the only person that's close to him is Romans. Those are the two that are just on a different level at the moment in that Rangers team. And so for me, Mikey Moore takes it all day long.
I have to admit, I literally put exactly that in one of the group chats earlier when I think we were about 60, 70 minutes. I was like, Moore's different level to everyone else on that pitch today. I do take your point about Robbins. I thought he wasn't necessarily his best today. That's not me saying he's rubbish. I just don't think he quite hit the levels that, again, we've become accustomed to. But Moore, he was just on a different level for me. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap it there. And as I said at the top, the guys will be back through the week with a full breakdown of the game, looking at what went well and, of course, breaking down that goal that we did concede. For now, As always, the pod is brought to you by the Bluebells Bar in Lanzarote, good Rangers pub. If you're over there, get yourself along. And for now, every night's a Rangers Journal night.
Every night is the Rangers Journal night.